Yo, yo, what's going on, boys? Tuesday morning. How are you doing on this great Tuesday morning? Thank you guys for kicking off the day with us here, talking our sports and talking our sports betting as well. Don't forget, we're going to go ahead and pull the plug on these YouTube shows on Friday. We're going to go ahead and make that announcement today. We've talked about it a few times. We'll talk about it going forward. But Friday will be the end of these regular shows on YouTube. So make sure you're following me on Twitter if you want the bets that I'll give out every single day on baseball. But we'll do some YouTube lives, and we'll still mix in some Twitter lives, just consistently basis every morning at 11 a.m. Can't quite pull that off with the kiddos hanging out with me all summer long. Hey, nice slate today in Major League Baseball. As predicted, our look-ahead spots held up, so we used some of those. We've got some additional bets as well to go ahead and share with you guys. Let's go ahead and dive on to the action after we, of course, make sure we go ahead and recap yesterday. And we'll go ahead and pull out the broom on a little 2-0 gentleman's sweep. That's right, plus 1.78 units. So you love to see that right there. Starting off the week with a nice little sweep action. Orioles on that F5 team total. Orioles on the F5 team total. Best bet of the day. Cash so easily. If you heard me on the show, I don't know, did anybody make that a multi-unit play? I mean, I told you guys on the show, and Brian said it was minus 10, minus 115 in the chat. I said, go in for more. I couldn't do so on DraftKings, but I hopped on Fanatics. Unfortunately, they've got me limited, so I could only put $41.76 down. It was over 2.5 though at plus money. So hopefully you guys went on that. I don't care that the price changed. You guys know how I handicap and don't really care. If the public wants to do us a favor and get that line from minus 140 to minus 110. Not often do you guys get the better line. Normally CLV, I get it in baseball. So I'm happy that you guys were on much the better line. That's a huge difference of a payoff for you guys. So I love that you guys got that better line right there on that F5 team total. Cash nice and easy. They beat up on the Blue Jays early and often. Gausman had no chance up against that lineup that swings the bat really hot right now. Mets on that F5 team total. Woo, you can go ahead and do that. Wipe that sweat off of your brow. Boy, that one was sweaty. Hey, Mets were also an early 2 candidate, so they went ahead and cashed that one as well, and cashed the Mets on the full game money line, which even that got extremely sweaty. You like them to win the game just because they're up through the first 5. You think they'd have a good little lead, which they did, a 2-run lead, but my gosh, that bullpen, it's going to give you heart attacks watching the end of that game. In terms of our bet, though, need a little bit of help in the 5th inning. Mets put together a little bit of rally. And then the Nationals were also putting together a rally, though, in that bottom half of the 5th inning. They had bases loaded. McGill was walking people, 2 consecutive batters. I thought for sure they were going to pull his ass after consecutive walks, bases loaded. But, they stuck with him, and he gets the big out that we needed to end that rally to give us a 7-5 win through 5 innings. So that one was good right there. Padres on that F5 money line. We get a push out of that one as it finishes 1-1. You could say a little bit of a tough. I don't know if you were watching that, but it was the 4th inning when Waldron gave up that run. Leadoff batter Renfigo, he was called out on strikes in terms of was it a ball or was it a strike. Unfortunately, the umpire called it a ball. Just one of those ones that watching it live, it's like how the catcher moves to frame the ball. The umpire calls it a ball, but that's just tough that, umpires can't see through that stuff. Just because he's setting up outside, the pitch comes down the middle. Like, that's a strike. It was bottom of the knees, perfectly in the middle of the zone. If he gets that 3rd strikeout, obviously then he doesn't single on the next pitch. He's unable to steal second base because he's out, and he doesn't score. So a little bit of a heartbreaker right there. But to be honest, I thought the Padres were going to score more than 1 run anyway, the way they were hitting left-handers. So it shouldn't have come down to that. That's what it did come down to. And unfortunately, we get a push. But a great day. A gentleman's sweep at 2-0 and plus 1.78 units. MLB season numbers now over 35 units. Cooking on this MLB season. So what's going on, fellas? How's this Tuesday treating you? What's crack-a-lacking down in the comment section? Let me know. And then we're going to have some fun previewing baseball today. I can absolutely feel it. Let's go. We're going to get it, Nick. Let's go, my man. You've been hitting. Well, I think that's what I'm going to be hopping on Twitter Live. Not most days, but I don't see why we can't at least hop on Twitter Live and, rifle off a rapid fire. We got to keep your parlays hitting. I've been hitting parlays too, man. I haven't been making them 8 legs. You've been a little bit more adventurous than me, but you don't have to hit every single one, obviously. That's the great thing about those. You hit 1 in a week, and you've obviously turned a profit. So nice hit, Nick. I've been right there with you. Right there with you. Morning, Brian. How those lines holding up? You getting a better line again today? minus 110 on that F5 team total. Orioles crush. Our look-ahead line did go bye-bye on the Orioles just because Barrios is going to pitch tomorrow and not not today, but which makes sense due to his off days because he pitched on Friday. So I think ESPN was always telling us, generally speaking, incorrectly on that one. Keep the engagement going, my man. Keep the engagement going. What is cracking, boys? What's your best bet? Best bet. What's your best bet today? What about your favorite underdog? What about yesterday's Nerfy in that Mets-Nationals game that hit? You going to go ahead and run back that Nerfy again today? Can't be mad at you if you do, for all the reasons why we liked it yesterday. Yesterday you had the Mets that are hot hitting. Today you get the Nationals that are hot hitting, but you can't ignore that these teams just Nerfy, obviously what the Nats are doing. Find out if that'll be in my It's a Steal Nerfy of the day today. All right, boys, let's go ahead and break down some baseball. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into it. All right, boys, it's time to keep the good times rolling. That's exactly what we do here in the Payoff Pitch every single day. We preview every game in Major League Baseball. Yeah, no shit. We're going to preview every single game. You got the menu there on your left-hand side. We'll give you some game props, pitching props, hitting props. What about the Nerfy of the day? What about the best long shot on the board? What about seventh inning coming to a stretch? Hey, that's where you get my best bet. Yesterday's best bet, obviously cash super easy. And then what about a parlay? Everybody likes a good little two-teamer parlay. We'll catch you that in the eighth inning. And by the end of the show, if there's a game that you're interested in that maybe I haven't talked about yet, why don't you hang around for rapid fire? We'll talk about every game from a money line, run line, and over-under perspective. First inning, we call it quick hits. We like to just give you our opening thoughts on the board. Nothing really sticks out on the opening thoughts. I thought it was a good slate. I thought that Twins-Yankees series, when we did the look ahead yesterday, was going to be a smash spot today, and it's an absolute smash spot today. We've loaded up in that game. I believe it's 4 bets in total from that game. We'll go ahead and run through them. But first, let's do so in around the bases. Let's take a couple games, and let's go ahead and break them on down. Let's first start with this Mets and Nationals game. Yesterday, we were on the Mets. Today, let's go ahead and flip the script, and let's go ahead and jump on those Nationals from an F5 team total over 1.5. How could you not, right? We know this Nationals team hits left-handers, giving us a great cash on Friday. They'll pick up right where they did on Friday because they're hitting .299, slugging .343 with a .703 OPS and a weighted runs created of 107. Their strikeouts have ticked up a little bit. They're at 24% though, so nothing crazy high, but it is sure higher than what we're used to seeing from a Nationals team. They faced Peterson in 2023. They got one start against him, and they absolutely crushed him and cashed this bet so easily. They saw him in some other appearances, but it was relief appearances where they didn't do much. But when they saw him for 5 innings out of the starter, boy, they really got to him in 2023. Peterson just doesn't have any swing or miss stuff. His K per 9 is 5.4. His opponent's batting average is .333 with a 1.6 whip, albeit only in one start. But, guy's just not missing bats. Kind of who he is in general. A really hot Nats team versus left-handers. And they're going to give you this number at 1.5. I took a peek about 40 minutes ago, and it's at 2.5, at plus money. And quite frankly, that's where it should be. And if you've missed that on the 1.5, you skip the 2.5 number at F5. You go right to that F7 number at 3.5 because how could you not want a piece of that Mets bullpen that, that manager, he picks up the phone, he's like, all right, man, I don't know which slappy you want to go ahead and get up on the mound and warm up. You pick this time because it's all shit coming out of that bullpen. So, yeah, full game anyways. If you want to back the Nationals on a team total. Of course, they don't hit right-handers as well, so we just want to focus on when Peterson will be in the game. But if you did miss out on the 1.5, I would go ahead and pivot to that F7 and, yeah, give me a piece of that Mets bullpen. So love what they're doing versus left-handers. Peterson off to a rough start so far in 2024. Had success up against them last season. I'll take the Nationals F5 team total over 1.5 runs. Another game here and around the bases we're talking about is the Reds. They're taking on the Rockies, where I want that Reds full game team total over 5.5 runs at minus 105. They're doing really good versus left-handers and right-handers. Let's talk about the left-handers for a second with Ty Blatch on the mound, where they hit .286, slug .364, .775 OPS. The weighted runs created is 128. Very high walk rate at 13.8. They're not striking out at 16.3. So everything's there. You're hitting, your power, you're walking, you're not striking out. It's all beautiful from the left-handed side, and it's really good from the right-handed side as well, where they hit 272, slug 425 with the OPS of 768 and the weighted runs created of 115. Decent on the walks at 8.5 from the right-handed side, and once again, they don't strike out at 22.9%. So hitting both sides of the handedness of the pitcher, so you love to see that right there. Ty Blatch, 4.1 ERA, 1.2 whip, but a 278 batting average with a 4.4 K per nine. He's also not missing any bats, and this is obviously a guy that's been starting all season long. Maybe Peterson, you could say, but not Blatch. He's been starting, pitching 4.4 and a 278 opponent's batting average. With how hot the Reds are from both lefty and righty, I want a piece of that. And of course, we want to get the full game team total of the Reds here, coming off of 13 runs yesterday. Well, it's because the Rockies pen ranks 26th in opponent's batting average at 275. They rank 27th in ERA at 5.8. They rank 24th in FIP at 4.5. The whip comes in 25th worst at 1.4. And K per nine, they don't miss any boxes or any bats. Does this bullpen. They strike out 6.3 K per nine, which is 28th worst in Major League Baseball. The pen's shit, the starter's shit, and the bats are hot. I'll take that Reds team total over 5.5 runs at -105. Shut up and bitch. You got to give some love to the pitchers every day. That's what we do here in the third inning. What about Luis Gil here for the New York Yankees? Bought the opening line at over 17.5 outs at +120. Let's get a peek, see where the current line's at. Still where we're at. We're double dipping because the line dropped to over 16.5 outs at -135. I don't care. The line dropped yesterday on the Orioles from -140 down to -110. Don't give a shit. The line's moving in our favor. I'm double dipping. Gil is over in his last 6 starts. This guy is incredible at a roll. Pitching in the 7th inning, pitching in the 8th inning. An amazing stuff. And another thing that, maybe you don't know this unless you listen to Aaron Boone's press conference, but he was asked, I want to say I heard this 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, so maybe 3, maybe 4 starts ago for Gil, where I don't remember which report. I actually think it was Susie, because I think it was a female voice that asked him. But she was basically like, "Hey, you left Gil out there in a tough spot. When you were in a little bit of a jam, and a strikeout would have played you good." And Boone looked at the reporter, was like, "Yeah, we were in a tough spot. We did need a strikeout." And we have the guy on the mound, Luis Gil, that'll strike out anybody potentially. So he's like, I got my guy. There's no reason to go to the bullpen if you're looking for a strikeout. So you even have that added, where if he's in a jam in the 6th inning, Boone is trusting his stuff as long as his pitch count is obviously manageable. That's the best guy on the staff to get a strikeout. Nobody better. Clay Holmes, he's a ground ball pitcher. He's one pitch away, is what Boone always says. It's not one pitch away from a strikeout. Clay Holmes is one pitch away from a ground ball. Gil is the guy you need if you need a strikeout on this staff, whether it's starter, bullpen. Boone even mentioned it 2-3 weeks ago. I love that. Twins can hit right-handers, 20th in batting average at 228. The weighted runs created is 111. They don't do anything well. Gil has been electric in his last 6 starts, cashing this bet in every single one. Give me Luis Gil over 17.5 outs at +120, and I'll go in for over 16.5 outs at -135. Flipping the script from an over to an under is Patrick Sandoval of the Angels. I'll do under 17.5 outs at +112. We mentioned the Padres yesterday and how well they hit left-handers. Again, admittedly, I thought they were going to get more than 1 run. It didn't happen, but they're still great numbers, hitting 281, slugging 418, 757 OPS, the weighted runs created of 121. Excellent strikeout rate at 12.6. If you want to do Sandoval under Ks, it's juicy as hell, but they're only striking out at 12.6 clip. You saw Tyler Anderson yesterday only get 2 strikeouts. Good walk rate at 7.5. And comparing Anderson to Sandoval, though, right? Because Anderson goes 6.2. Well, Anderson's ERA is 2.3. Sandoval's is 5.3. Anderson's whip is 1.1. Sandoval's is 1.4. Anderson's opponent's batting average is 198. Sandoval's is 266. Anderson throws 3.7 pitches per plate appearance. Sandoval's up to 4.1. So just a worse pitcher, obviously, by far. The only thing Sandoval does is he strikes out more batters than Tyler Anderson. Otherwise, the whip, the opponent's batting average really sticks out glaringly at 266 versus 198. Penn's obviously in good shape after Anderson goes 6.2 innings, and the bullpen's actually pretty good. Remember, this is the fourth best opponent's batting average in the last 10 days is your Los Angeles Angels. So got a good pen. It worked last night. Give me Anderson under 17.5 outs. The bats are too high. The pen's in too good of a shape. I'll take my chances at plus money that Sandoval stays under 17.5 outs at plus 112. Fourth inning, long shot. See what dog we can't cook up today. And let's go to Miami and back those Marlins at a good dog price at plus 102. They're taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, where they just are a great team to fade right now. Struggling versus left-handers, only hitting 220. Slugging's at 366. The weighted runs created is below league average at 88. Marlins versus right-handers are significantly better. They're hitting 274. Marlins numbers are good enough stand-alone if you just wanted to back the Marlins alone, if you were scared from a pitching standpoint. I'm not scared, and we'll elaborate that a little bit more here, but Marlins have great bat numbers, hitting 274, slugging 395, 707 OPS, and a weighted runs created of 100. Good strikeout comparable to the Rays. They're both at around 24%, so I love to see that right there. Bullpen-wise, I mentioned I'm not scared of the bullpen. Definitely not scared when I get the better bullpen. ERA is 2.5 versus 3.1. Opponent's batting average is 189, which is fifth best for the Marlins as opposed to 262 for the Rays. WHIP of the Marlins is under 1 at 0.9. For the Rays, it comes in at 1.3. And to round out that they do everything better, it's a 2.47 FIP versus 4.2 for the Rays. And also the Marlins in the last 10 days, you know how many bullpens or you know how many home runs that bullpen has given up in the last 10 days? They have not given up a home run in the last 10 days as that Marlins bullpen. It's in great shape. You give me the better pitching, Luzardo up over Ryan. You give me the better bullpen by far, every category, and you give me the better hitting. Better starter, better hitting, better bullpen. That's check, check, check. Yeah, that's an underdog, and that's Marlins at plus 102. Gladly take them as an underdog today. Fifth inning, keeps swinging. What about Dansby Swanson there of the Cubs? He sees Chris Flexen pretty well. He's 7 for 11, 2 doubles and a triple. And let's go to this Colorado game. Ryan McMahon, he's 4 for 4 up against Frankie Montas with 2 doubles in those 4 hits. So obviously seeing him for some power as well. Sixth inning, it's the steal. I like to give you the Nerfy of the day. Yesterday's Nerfy cash. You love to see that. Mets and Nats. We could run that one back. Minus 105. I did it. It's minus 105 on DraftKings. I put a unit on it. I'll just give you another one, though, just so we can have another one to talk about. And another one that I certainly did bet. White Sox and Cubs, minus 102 over on FanDuel. White Sox are the 4th best team in Major League at getting the Nerfy at 82%. Cubs are 8th best at 78%. We know the Cubs are scuffling right now versus right-handers. To be fair, the White Sox actually hit left-handers pretty good. So, you struggle with maybe projecting how this game could go because Emi Manga was rocked in his last outing against the Brewers. Remember, the Brewers were struggling, and that's why we took him. When I went back and looked, there was a rain delay a while back for the Cubs, and they skipped Imanga's turn. He went 11 days without throwing the ball in between his last 2 starts. Maybe that's why he was off against the Brewers. That's a long time for a pitcher to come out of a routine and sit for 11 days. So, back on his normal rotation, 5 days, should certainly be better. White Sox Nerfy anyways at 82%. So Cubs, White Sox, minus 102. If we had to pick one for the Nerfy of the day so we can say that we're 2-0, I'm going White Sox, Cubs as my Nerfy of the day. White Sox, Cubs, minus 102. 7th inning, coming to a stretch. Best bet, it's Twins, Yankees. I think everybody was expecting that just off of yesterday's look ahead and then even off the bets that I've already tweeted this morning. I like Twins, Yankees. I guess we'll go Yankees run line for the best bet, just for the sake of it. But I'm on Yankees run line at plus 135, which is all the way down to plus 110. I'm also going to do Yankees F5 team total over 2.5 runs at plus 124. Ryan mentioned earlier in yesterday's chat that the Yankees swept the Twins a handful of weeks ago. They cashed the F5 team total in all 3 games against Joe Ryan, against Pablo Lopez, against Chris Paddock. They cashed in all 3 games. I certainly expect that to continue today with the way the Yankees are versus right-handers. It's them and Baltimore, which are the top 2 teams right now versus right-handers, hitting 274, an absurd amount of power at 479 with a 769 OPS and the weighted runs created of 126. Strikeouts remain at a decent rate at 24%. they've just been beating up this staff. Of course, we're not going to go to the F7 because if you looked at what happened a few weeks ago when the Twins and Yankees hooked up, all the runs came early in those 3 games. They didn't get much off the Twins. And yeah, I bet they didn't. They've got the number 1 opponent's batted average. They've got the 3rd best ERA. They've got the number 1 whip at .86, and they've got the 4th best FIP. I'm not willing to touch it. We just saw what happened a few weeks ago. They really couldn't touch that bullpen. It's the Yankees' hot offense against average starters that they've just crushed here. I'm taking them. And the Yankees' bullpen is obviously good. It's not as good as the Twins, but they're right there in the top 10. They've come back to where generally speaking, they've been all year, which is, a top 10 bullpen. Everybody's obviously rested, expecting Heel to go deep into the game, obviously. So I guess that's, 4 bets from that game? 2 for Heel. Yankees run line, Yankees F5 team total. Best bet of the day, though, is the Yankees run line at +135. 8th inning, double play. I cook up a little parlay today. Dodgers and Braves coming at +150. Dodgers and Braves. I'm actually curious what that current price is. Probably not too far off. Let's look. Let's find those Bravers. It's -146, so there you go. You're still right, very much right there in the wheelhouse. Let's look at the Dodgers first. Taking on the Pirates. Well, I'm getting the better starter, certainly, there in Tyler Glass now. Dodgers, better offense across the board, better average, better slugging, better OPS, and better weighted runs created than the Pittsburgh Pirates across the board. Not huge advantages, but enough advantages, and then an absurd amount of power advantages from the Dodgers. Bullpen-wise, boy, Dodgers bullpen is sitting real nice. Whip at 1.0. The whip's at 1.0. The ERA's at 1.0. The opponent's batting average is at 196. The Pirates are worse than all that. Their ERA's almost 3. The opponent's batting average is 237. They give up more home runs, almost 3 times as much home runs out of the bullpen per 9 innings do the Pirates. So I'm getting the better starter. I'm getting the better offense. I'm getting the better bullpen and the Dodgers. So they were a no-brainer play. And it's kind of the same story here for the Atlanta Braves. While they don't crush right-handers, they're about league average. The Red Sox are the 3rd worst team versus left-handers, only hitting 186, only slugging 314. The weighted runs created is 62. They're not doing anything really well from an offensive standpoint versus left-handers. The right-handed numbers are still scuffling, a little bit, but really scuffling versus left-handers, where they're going to obviously, going to have to go up against a Max Fried. And then the bullpen, I'm getting the better ERA, 3.0 versus 4.5. The FIP is 2.5 versus 3.7. The opponent's batting average is 239 versus 275. So I'm getting the better bullpen numbers as well. Both of these games, you're getting better starter, better offense, better bullpen. It's a no-brainer parlay. Dodgers, Braves, +150. Sign me up. All right. Saw a lot of comments roll by. We'll catch those comments, and then we will catch rapid fire. So let's see what we got. The Orioles was a great cash. Yeah, nice and easy. Line fell to -110. It's still so comical. Like, imagine sitting there and hitting that under so much, it drops to -110. Wow. Just don't even know what stats you're looking at. It's the number 1 team right now versus right-handers. I mean, I'm dying to know who the Blue Jays are throwing today, but I'm worried that they're only going to throw a guy for a couple innings is what, it sounds like it's going to be a bullpen day. So I'll probably just lay off the Orioles today and then just jump right back on them tomorrow with Barrios. I'm crushing right-handers. So Nick Aragati over 4.5 hits allowed is your favorite bet so far. Taking on what, the Cardinals? Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals are coming down, but I hear you. You could, if you wanted, Cardinals are a possible early 2 candidate for sure. We haven't quite gotten there. But yeah, Cardinals have just regressed a little bit, but it's interesting. Not interesting that you like the bet. I'm not toying with that. It's just interesting that's your favorite bet. It's your favorite bet. It's a good one. Let's get a cash, Nick. Let's get a cash, man. Aragati over 4.5 hits. Let's get a cash. What are our thoughts on the Phillies taking on the run line? Brewers didn't have a starter, Brian, which was kind of the same problem when we sat here yesterday. Remember Phillies, Astros was our money line parlay. which came through obviously nice and easy. Astros win 7-4, Phillies win 3-1. But I think it's the same kind of problem today, though, Brian. I don't really know what the Brewers are doing. The sports books aren't telling me who they're throwing, but on the surface, with the Brewers being basically about league average versus left-handers, it's okay. But yeah, it's really just kind of hard. You don't know what the Brewers are doing, so I didn't really handicap that one all too often. You don't have a starter, it's kind of an easy pass. Good night likes the Brewers today. Well, there you go. He's willing to back a team that doesn't have a starter, so you love to see that right there. He likes Texas on the money line. Well, they can't hit right-handers, and they're going up against Flaherty, so that one already sounds sweaty as hell. San Diego Padres on the money line. I can get behind that one. I can get behind the Padres on the money line. Good luck to you. Good night. Good luck. Good luck. Let's go Brewers, Rangers, Padres. Let's get it. Little three-teamer. Do we like Trevor Williams to get 4 Ks today, taking on the Mets? Well, we know they don't hit right-handers as good, but that's just because they were really good versus left-handers, and we were all over that bet yesterday. Sweaty as all hell. God, I was just like, pull McGill. Pull that bastard. How many times am I going to see him walk a guy? The Mets strike out 26.2. So, to me, not a bettable number for an over, but at least it's more towards the upside. His outs prop is crazy that they're giving it to you at 6.5. I know that last time was like one of the rare times they went over 15.5, but you got to figure at least the Mets see him a ton, even though they can only hit 201. They're scuffling. It depends on what his hit rate is. The strikeout at 26.2 is not bad. Not bad. Trevor Williams is striking out 4, 8, 3, 2, 8, 3. That's only 2 overs. He did go over against Seattle, but like who the hell doesn't? So that one, like everybody strikes out all the Mariners. Everybody does. Then he's got 1, 4, 7, 2, 5. Yeah. That one's tough. That was another one that's tough. Tough. Depends on what the juice is, man. That one they better be giving you basically like double your money on that one. It's plus 125? Okay. If you want to take a hit at plus 125, can't be mad with that. Israel, what's going on, man? Hoping you have a good week. Thank you for that. Enzo's the new Chelsea manager. Looks like Guardiola. Trained under Guardiola. We'll see what happens, but I like it. I like it. I'm still waiting to see if it's Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out. Like, what the hell are we doing? We're now 9 days, or no, FA Cup game was on Saturday, wasn't it? We're like 10 days away from him lifting a trophy, and we're still toying with him? What are we doing? What are we doing? Have a good one, Israel. My man. That 3-teamer's hitty, man. Brewers, Rangers, Padres. Djokovic dropped out of the French. Ooh, that knee injury took him out? God, what a GOAT performance yesterday. Come through on the live bet. What a GOAT. What a GOAT. Damn, he bowed out though. Yeah, that knee injury. He slipped a couple other times. He slipped in the 4th set or the 5th set, whatever it was. I think it was the 4th set. You hate to hear that. Shit, man. Shit. The injury got him, I guess. Damn. Tough one right there. Let's go ahead and throw these official bets up on the screen, boys. We're going Marlins money line, dog of the day, plus 103. Yankees on the run line, plus 135. 2-teamer today, Dodgers and Braves are getting all the advantages. Sign me up at plus 150. Nationals F5 team total over 1.5. Yankees F5 team total over 2.5. Reds full game team total over 5.5. Sandoval is staying under 17.5 outs. And Heel is not only going over 16.5 outs, he's going to go over 17.5 outs at a good plus money price. Let's go ahead and jump on into rapid fire. We've got to use our early two, which I actually had a buddy hit me up. He said, what's the early two play? I've not been thinking about that until I get to the show and we do rapid fire. I've kind of enjoyed the success. We're coming off 2 straight wins after a hot streak and a minor 2-game blip up. I'm liking doing this, so find us an early 2 candidate while we run through these games. Dodgers and Pirates with an over-under of 8. Dodgers minus 185, Pirates plus 154. This one's an under 8. While I like the Dodgers and their hitting advantages, and I like the bullpen advantages, Their bullpen's lights out, and Dodgers aren't like, not like they're like an offense that I'm just tossing all my cash behind of. So Jared Jones, as long as he keeps a respectable outing, this one will stay under 8. Obviously, you know I'm on the money line, so we don't need to talk about that. Give me the under 8 and Dodgers Pirates as well. Royals and Guardians with an over-under of 8.5. Royals plus 105. Guardians coming to this one at minus 125. Just the classic, like, you know, you've been listening to me enough. Like, we know who has the bullpen advantage, right? It's Rockies, it's Guardians, and it's Guardians and Spade. The hitting, it's nip and tuck, tight, pretty even across the board. Guardians grade out with a better batting average. Guardians grade out with a little bit more power. Seth Lugo, we've talked about him. Hell of a role. It's Guardians minus 125. It's Guardians minus 125. I mean, we've been on the Royals F5 king lately because you don't want that bullpen. You still don't want that bullpen, of course. Oh, God. It's the second worst opponent's batting average at 317. Second worst whip at 1.7. Second worst ERA at 6.5. Yeah, you don't want... It's Guardians. That could even be on the... It's Guardians bullpen's top 5. Their ERA is 1.7. Jesus. Is McKenzie... If McKenzie's on a roll, then Guardians' money line has to get added. I didn't even look it up. I know Lugo was on a roll, so that kind of like scared me. How's McKenzie doing? 5 innings, 4 runs. 5 innings, 3 runs. Shit. Yeah. That's what put me off. Who's pitching tomorrow? You get Logan Allen versus Brady Singer. Well, do you, Brady? You bowed out last time with an illness. Almost bit me in the ass, but Daniel Lynch respected the cash. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Oh, the Royals crushed left-handers. Oh, there you go. Facing Logan Allen tomorrow. All right. Probably lay off that game, but yeah, Guardians is by far the play from a rapid fire. Not even close. Well, it is close, actually, with McKenzie on the mound. But no, Guardians is still the play. Look, it just dropped to minus 122. It was minus 125. Guardians, minus 122. Rays and Marlins over under of 7. Rays minus 118. Marlins minus 102. Of course, dog of the day. So love their starting pitching advantages. Love their hitting advantage. Love their bullpen advantage. Unless we find something better, this is the early 2 play. Marlins would be the early 2. Unless we find something better. Brewers and Phillies. Yeah, DraftKings isn't willing to tell me a starter. So, probably just skip that game. It's tough. But we know generally how I feel about it because I felt confident enough yesterday for them to be in my double play. So, you know how I feel about that series overall. But tough with Brewers not having a starter. Mets and Nationals over under of 9. Mets minus 120. Nationals at even money. I mean, you have to take the Nationals here. You have to. You expect them to hit Peterson. Mets are struggling a little bit now versus right-handers, only hitting 201, and it's the Mets bullpen. So this is one where yesterday when we were in rapid fire, I told you Mets was the play. That's just because we expected them to be up through the first 5 innings, and even though it's shit, like, you know, you hope you can piece it together. I don't expect them to be able to piece it together because I expect them to be behind when we enter the 6th inning. So it's Nationals at even money. This is also an up early 2 candidate. I'm fine, really, with going Marlins or Nats so far. It don't matter to me. I mean, yeah, the Rays can't hit left-handers, and I think the Mets were worse, though, at 201. They're way around 75. What were the Rays? 88? Probably a lot of hitter familiarity, though, with Trevor Williams. What does Swish Analytics say? I bet they've seen his ass a lot. That could be the deciding factor of the 2. Hader hits 400 off of him. McNeil hits 308. Lindor hits 286. Martinez hits 400. Yeah. God damn. Those are some good batting averages. I'm going to stick with Marlins right now for early 2. As suspected, yeah, they've seen him too much. But for rapid fire, yeah, I want a piece of that Mets bullpen. I'll go Nats, full game money line at even money. Twins and Yankees, yeah, I mean, the run line's down to plus 114. It's still the play at plus money. It's Yankees on the run line. Are they still giving you heel at 16.5 outs? Still at 16 point. I don't genuinely know how that dropped. It's not like the Twins offense is good right now. It's below average and everything. Yeah, that one's a little bit of a head scratcher, but yeah, I don't care. As you said, I double dipped and literally didn't even think twice. I didn't even think twice. I was like, oh, minus 135. Sign me up. Oh, now we got a starter for the Blue Jays. Who's Trevor Richards? Come on down, Trevor Richards. You're taking on Corbin Burns with an over-under of 8.5. Orioles minus 166. Blue Jays plus 140. Listen to this bullpen stats when comparing Orioles versus Blue Jays. ERAs 3.7 versus 3.7. WHIP 1.1 versus 1.1. Opponent's batting average 216 versus 218. You ain't getting any separation from a bullpen. It's whoever can get the high leverage guys first can more than likely pull off the victory. So now you got to look up and see who the hell is Trevor. What did I say his name was? Trevor Richards, a relief pitcher. Expand his card. See just how deep he can go. Shit, 1 inning, 2 inning, 3.1. Wow, way back. His last outing was 11. I mean, his guy ain't going very. So I don't want a piece of this bullpen day. Mix and match. You saw, just remember the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? When Gallen got out. Mets didn't do anything on that. It's tough to hit a bullpen. I don't want no. I'll patiently wait till I get Berrios versus hot offense tomorrow, and I'll do exactly that. I'll patiently wait. As far as a rapid fire, I mean, it's Corbin Burns. Blue Jays are scuffling a little bit versus right-handers, so. But I wouldn't go minus 166 against a bullpen day. There's no chance in hell, so. That one's tough. I'll go under 8.5. Give me under 8.5 between Orioles and Blue Jays, which, they missed yesterday on the hook? Was it 7-2 game? 7-2? Yeah, missed on the hook, but Orioles shouldn't see, a right-hander for 6 innings like they saw Gosman for 6 innings. So it should be a little bit low scoring. So, yeah, under 8.5. I'm fine with that. Under 8.5. Braves and Red Sox, over-under of 8. Braves minus 166. Red Sox plus 140. Again, better starter, better offense, better bullpen. Yeah, kind of no-brainer. Parlay of the day. Dodgers and Braves. It's just like both games you get all 3 advantages. I mean, it's just hopes the advantages work out. You know what I mean? Because it's a good betting spot. So there we go. White Sox and Cubs over-under of 9.5. White Sox plus 240. Cubs minus 298. The more I think about it, Imanga, that 11 days off probably screwed him up. These guys are such a creature of habit. You even hear them talk about it so much. It's not just me saying that. I mean, players actively talk about it. And then you get the White Sox. They hit lefties, 274. Lots of power. 468 slugging, 791 OPS, 121 weighted runs created. So was it a blip for Imanga? And maybe this is his ebb. He's at all flow. Maybe this is his ebb. Makes it tough because the White Sox are hitting left-handers and they can do some damage. Cubs coming up versus right-handers, but still nothing where I want to bet, even though it's Chris Flexen. They're only hitting 233. The weighted runs created is 107. That's, a tick above league average. It's the Nerfy. I think the best bet in this game is the Nerfy. Bullpen-wise, what's the bullpen? The White Sox is, bottom of the barrel. When I said the Royals were second worst, the White Sox, worse. Are they worse in everything? Dude, how are you allowing, their whip out of the bullpen is 2.2. You imagine that? Every guy that comes out of the bullpen is putting 2 guys on base? Fuck. Can't win a ball game like that. I'm not doing Cubs minus 298 with the way the White Sox hit left-handers either, so. And I wouldn't do Cubs run line because even that's minus 142. That's way too much juice for. And the Cubs bullpen is, hell, their ERA is 6.4. Let's not act like this is, even though the White Sox bullpen is shit, That's not making it sound like the Cubs have an advantage. Their bullpen ERA is 6.4. Their opponent's batting average is 269. That ranks 24th. Their whip is 1.5. That's 4th worst. So it's shit up against shit. You just wish the White Sox weren't the worst team versus right-handers at 168. If the White Sox could hit right-handers, maybe you could pull the trigger on an over. But if you bet this game other than Nerfy, bless your soul. You got more confidence in it than me, so. But I got to give out a pick for rapid fire, so what am I doing here? I mean, it's bad bullpen versus bad bullpen. That's an over. I'm just doing the over. The 9.5 suggests that the wind's blowing out because it's in Chicago. That's a high total for Chicago. That suggests the wind's blowing out. I'm going over at 9.5. Tigers and Rangers over under 7.5. Tigers minus 112. Rangers minus 108. I mean, this is the right team. Deserves to be the favorite, in which it's the Tigers, but it shouldn't be a huge favorite, which is books also have it accurate at minus 112 versus minus 108. But you are getting the better offense in the Detroit Tigers. But, you know, do I really want to do an F5? I did have on my notes Tigers F5, but they're only hitting 238. Like, that's not great. The weighted runs created is 103. It's better than the Rangers at 222 with a 71 weighted runs created. Both of them striking out at 24%. It's an advantage, but not like enough of an advantage, even though Flaherty should certainly outduel Dane Dunning. If you want to, probably the best way into this game is just backing Flaherty against a cold, kind of been cold for a while, to be quite fair, Rangers offense. It's been scuffling now for a while. Tigers, the bullpen's probably tight, if I had to take a guess. Yeah, bang on tight. Yeah. Who won yesterday? Tigers in a close one, wasn't it? Yeah, 2-1. They didn't use a save. They didn't get a save yesterday. Did this Bo Brisky guy come in and throw 4 innings? No shit. He came in through 3 innings. That's why they didn't have to throw a save. So they were Skubal for 6 and Bo for 3. I'm assuming Bo's a right-hander, the fact that he only gave up 1 hit. Yeah, they cannot hit right-handers, man. It's just back Flaherty. What's his outs prop? 17.5? 16.5? 17.5. Sure. I know that hit rate's great, which you guys don't usually hear me talk about hit rate very often. I mean, just look at Gausman yesterday. If we'd have talked about his hit rate, 2 of his last 3 opponents were the Rays and the White Sox. They don't hit shit. Hit rate's not everything, but let's see what Flaherty's got. 6.2, 6.1, 6, 6.2, 6, 6.2, 6, 6.1, 6. This has missed an all but 1 start. It's hitting all but 1 start. You got Flaherty. That's the best prop in this game. It's just backing Flaherty up against a cold Rangers offense. Otherwise, it's even. And they do have the correct team slightly favored. And that's it. It's only very slightly. So, yeah. Yeah, that's that's it. So, I go Tigers, though. Yeah, I expect them to have a lead through 5 because Flaherty's that much better than Dunning. So, yeah, Tigers, minus 112. Cardinals and Astros over under of 9. Cardinals plus 130. Astros at minus 155. Kind of a, not a lot here. Yeah, it's that bullpen. The reason why we liked the Cardinals yesterday, or the Astros yesterday in our parlay, and it's the reason why I would like the Astros again today. So I'll go run back the same Astros. What is it? Minus 155. Astros money line minus 155. Still don't think we've found a better 2 candidate than the Marlins. So still looking for a better one, and I'm not sure I have. Maybe you could go Tigers, but they don't hit as well as the Marlins or anywhere close as good. So stick with the Marlins for now. Reds and Rockies. It's Reds at minus 130 for sure. Huge bullpen advantage. We walked through the hitting numbers. They hit lefties. They hit righties. Reds minus 130. Padres and Angels over under of 8.5. Padres minus 105. Angels minus 115. Angels can't hit right-handers. I was ready to fade these bums They hit 168. That's tied for the White Sox at the very bottom. Their weighted runs created is 35. The only issue with fading the Angels is you've got dude making his MLB debut. Go look up at what he's done this season. Adam Mazur, fantastic in Double-A. They promoted him to Triple-A. Was it 3 starts or 4 starts? Whatever it is, it's either all 3 or all 4 have been ugly in Triple-A. So, like, that step up in competition didn't treat him well, and now he's about to step up again in higher competition. So that's enough to just scare you off of backing the Padres. Otherwise, it's better offense for sure, better bullpen. Not by much, though. We've talked about this Angels bullpen. Again, 4th best opponent's batting average, so it's decent. Not as good as the Padres. It's good, though. I'll go Padres. You can't ignore this team is scuffling, but Missouri, AAA has not treated him well, so that's not a good sign when you step up in the competition. You go from domination to all of a sudden getting rocked. That's scary as hell. But for rapid fire and a lean perspective, we'll go Padres on the money line, minus 105. Mariners and Athletics, this was our look ahead. This was our not only our look ahead, but it was our under spot. It was just too low of a number for me to like it. But, yeah, both teams hit below the Mendoza line at 195 and 189. Teams only have 312 and 269 slugging, 79 and 64 weighted runs created. It's all awful. 2 right-handers on the mound, so playing into those numbers perfect. I would just go under 8. We like this Mariners bullpen. It sits in the top 10 right now. The Athletics, they get into their good arms. It's about game over. So I'll go under 8. Last time Mitch Spence came good, we tailed him in his last start. Couldn't remember who it was, but there was another team that was scuffling. We tailed him. He held it. Now I gotta look. Now I'm curious. Who was it? Was it not the Rays, was it? Yeah, it was the Rays. That was our cash. Yeah. That was our cash. That was our Athletics money line a week from today. 5 innings, no run ball. I mean, he could reproduce that again against a Mariners offense that is bad. So under 8's the play. And then Giants and D-backs, over under of 9.5. Giants plus 102. Diamondbacks minus 122. Two lefties on the mound. Okay. We got a better offense in the Diamondbacks. Not by much. The power that the Giants bring really evens it out. Their batting average is behind it. Giants strike out a lot more. And then the bullpens are where? We didn't really handicap this game yesterday because there was no starter for the Diamondbacks. That's why I don't quite know these numbers. We kind of skipped this game yesterday. Diamondbacks, there we go. And the bullpen's pretty tight too. Giants, maybe a touch better, but not much. Both of them giving up relatively the same number of home runs. Both of them striking out the same number. It's all the same. What are the odds? Yeah, it's pretty tight. I know Kyle Harrison's not likely going to pitch deep in this game because he's not very good. Watson, 2 starts. Shit. Yeah, no way that game's getting any of your money. I guess the early 2 was Marlins so far. Let's see what the chat is saying. People are betting the Rays Marlins money line going up plus money. Yeah, see now it's plus 105. Great. Love it. Anybody who hasn't bet it's now going to get a better price, just like yesterday's Orioles. Now you're going to get a better price. Whatever people are seeing, that's on them. Sure. Marlins. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Marlins will be the early 2 pick. Official. See if we can make it 3 in a row. 3 in a row on the early 2. Marlins will be the official pick. Any other questions, boys? People are betting the Rays. Okay. Okay, people. Same people that took the under on the Orioles. Number one team in baseball. Who gives a shit? It's Kevin Gausman. 3 for 3. 3 for 3 last season. And it's the number one team in offense. And his splits for his left-handers were way worse. And they throw all the left-handers at the top of their lineup. Adley. Gunnar. I don't even know who else. They got a couple more up there. Mullins is a left-hander at the bottom of the lineup. Like, what an easy bet. I'm glad I did go in at Fanatics a little bit, as much as they would let me. But hopefully you guys went in. Hopefully you guys can always tell in my voice when something is like, you know, a line's off, or like, you know, you can tell in my voice how much I usually love a play. So that was one where it was like, just smash it. We'll be giving an early 2 after Friday. Sure. Hit me up on Twitter. I'll try. I mean, not try, but yeah, just to remind me. Sure. Remind me. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Today we go for 3 in a row with the Marlins. How about that? 3 in a row with the Marlins. And I can actually do it because earlier I bet their money line on a different book. So I'll actually be able to come along on that one. What else we got, boys? Whoa. Mbappe is now at Real Madrid. They're really screwed. They're really screwed. Mbappe loves playing on the left wing, and so does Vinicius. Like, I'm not even sure what they're... One of them is going to have to play up through the middle, and that doesn't sound very good. What do we got, boys? Anything else? I'll give you 2 more minutes. Oh, yeah, actually, you know what? Is that guy's name Nick, too? Oh, okay. There's a guy on Twitter that asked me if I had an early 2 play. But his name's not Nick. His name is Vegas Golden Age. So not Nick. Well, now he knows. Marlins is the play. What else we got, boys? Anything else? Everybody's content? Everybody's locked in? The bets are in? Everybody ready to have us a money-making day? I'm ready for it. Look ahead for tomorrow? Look ahead quick for tomorrow. Let's do a look ahead. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll like the Reds again tomorrow against Dakota Hudson. The way they're hitting righties. Man, a lot of undecideds. Brewers still don't even know who they're throwing today or tomorrow. Come on, Brewers. Let's get going. Ooh, Mets are going up against Patrick Corbin. The way they hit left-handers. Sign me up for a Mets something. Team total? Sure. F5 team total? Sure. Sign me up. Royals, we talked about the way they hit left-handers. They could be a good play tomorrow. Dodgers are going to get their first look at Paul Skeens tomorrow. All right. Yankees going up against Paddock. They was one of those pitchers that they cashed when they did the sweep a couple weeks ago. Paddock was one of the 3 starters that they hit. So I'll be all over the Yankees again tomorrow. Just a matter of what do the Twins do versus lefties. But yeah, I'll be on the Yankees again tomorrow. Orioles will be on tomorrow. They're going against Barrios, so we'll be back on the best hitting team versus right-handers. Yeah, I mean, another low-scoring game in Mariners Athletics tomorrow, but, you know. The best spots tomorrow for sure will be the Reds, the Mets, the Yankees, and the Orioles. Those would be the best spots for sure. Reds, Yankees, Mets, and O's. By far the 4 best spots tomorrow. All right, boys. Let's go make some money. Good luck with your bets today, boys. Let's get that 3-team parlay there for good night. Let's get Trevor Williams over 4.5 Ks. I feel it happening. And also let's get Aragati over 4.5 hits. It'll be the best bet of the day. Let's get it, Nick. Good luck, boys. Have yourself a good one. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Let's cash.